Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Thursday, April 17th, 2014. From Infowars.com, clean slate, Bloomberg attempts fresh start with new gun control group. And I think I had chosen this link a few days ago, but didn't have time for it. He's spending $50 million to, this says, merge his embattled Mayors Against Illegal Guns group with his other anti-Second Amendment venture, Mothers Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, to form a more inclusive Everytown for gun safety. Hey, mothers, please don't be manipulated by this. Let's pray that they're not. This is not a battle of dollars. This is a battle for the hearts and minds of America so that we can protect our children and protect innocent people, Bloomberg told NBC's Today Show. If he wants to protect people, obviously, he should be spending money to preserve Second Amendment rights because, as we all know, where guns are more controlled and or illegal, a lot more people are injured and killed with guns. So it's only when the bad guys can get guns and the good guys can't that there is a problem. And in order to have good guys continue to have access to guns because they're not lawbreakers, guns need to be legal. And now I'm going to just dive right in head first with some Bundy Ranch information, and this is not going away. There's more understanding, it seems, of what's going on there, and I'll just click through these. And I mentioned the YouTube playlist that I created earlier, and I will probably add a lot of these YouTube videos to that playlist. Bundy Ranch land and its masters revealed, and this is 37 minutes long. This is pretty in depth about where the land is being subdivided, and it's obvious that there's development going on there, and we're the people who are critical of the Bundys like to use the term welfare ranchers, whatever. It's not people like the Bundys who are really making money, getting rich off land that belongs to the people. It is men like Reed and his son and that whole network. And moving on, Judge Napolitano, feds using culture of intimidation against Cliven Bundy. I wanted to use this clip from Fox just to mention that for whatever reason, Fox is seeming pretty supportive of Cliven Bundy, and because Fox is not care nurtures, one almost has to wonder if they are trying to galvanize this feeling of anger and hostility toward between left and right, and that probably has been a big function of Fox since its inception. But I think that we all need to be cautious about this, about our thinking, and especially our thinking about the Bundy Ranch and things like it. Standing up for freedom, but also being nonviolent until and unless the other, somebody else shoots first, and then you don't have a choice, really. Because self-defense is permitted by all law and certainly by God's law. Oathkeepers is here, and obviously Oathkeepers has been very supportive of the Bundy Ranch, and there are a lot of articles here about the Bundy Ranch. But it was interesting last night. For a while, Oathkeepers was down, and there was a video on YouTube stating that Oathkeepers was taken down after they posted something about militias supporting the Bundys. I'm not exactly sure what happened, if the site was down for maintenance or whatever. I heard there was some difficulty with Bluehost yesterday, and I don't know if Oathkeepers is hosted by that host company, but for whatever reason, Oathkeepers was down for a while last night. Happy to say that Oathkeepers is alive and well and online. Another YouTube video about the Bundy Ranch, and of course this is an Infowars video. Bundy Ranch, an ominous portent of more to come. And this is Alex yesterday had on as a guest the senior editor of the influential The New American, William F. Jasper. And this is John Birch Society, William F. Jasper, and The New American. And some people are offended by them, but they've been out there exposing evil for a long, long time when most of us were laughing about it. And this organization is very much demonized. In fact, I did a little start page search of William F. Jasper. And one thing that came up was a Wikipedia article that he was a member of some Aryan army. I don't think that's true. As I said, these people are much demonized, and I have mentioned their website and how easily they permit you to contact your congressmen, senators about any issue that comes up. And actually, EFF is building something like that too, and I'll get to that in a minute. But one more article about the Bundy Ranch, and this is really tragic. This is from Ben Swan. Did BLM bury Bundy cattle in mass grave? Warning, graphic images. And because of that, I won't scroll down, but there is a lot of evidence that the BLM did indeed bury Bundy cattle in a mass grave. So what a terrible waste. You can get into blood sacrifice, whatever. And it's all true, but just what a terrible waste. When there are hungry people, and these cattle were a part of the Bundy's lives, and, they're buried in a mass grave. Evidently, there's a lot of evidence to show that. On Mercy Triumphs is a blog from Fritz Springmeier, Belgium, a world power center. And Fritz gets very in-depth here of some of the history of Belgium and how much at the center of the Illuminati and its carryings on Belgium is. And he even mentions Abraham Lincoln here. This is very interesting, and Fritz just has the goods. So this is a helpful article in understanding what is going on with these people, who they are, and how strongly we're going to have to resist them, and pray and ask God for His help in resisting them. The Bible does say, resist the devil and he will flee from you. I noticed this because Cynthia McKinney mentioned this on Facebook. From Popular Resistance, Peace and Justice Movement loses a longtime advocate, John Judge. So there's been another loss of someone who has been a great freedom fighter. I'll just read the first paragraph here. Our society has lost a great activist today with the death of John Judge. No one spoke more clearly, strongly, and informedly on political power, militarism, and activism for positive change. While John lived next door to Dennis Kucinich, and with one of the best views and one of the best collections of political books and documents in Washington, D.C., It was as staff person for Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney that he advanced numerous causes of peace and justice and accountability for the powerful on Capitol Hill. So this is a good article, and certainly we've suffered a loss, which means that more of us need to rise up and fill these kind of vacuums that are created when some of these men pass on. From shtfplan.com, research facility loses thousands of tubes containing deadly virus. Oops. Yeah, that's an oops for them, and who knows what for us. A routine inventory check at Paris's Pasteur Institute revealed that 2,349 tubes containing fragments of the virus responsible for the deaths of 774 people in 2002 were missing, the center named after French chemist Louis Pasteur said. It is not clear how the tubes disappeared from one of the Institute's safest laboratories. Management were made aware of the loss in January, Le Monde newspaper reported. So hopefully this means nothing, because they say, foul play was highly improbable. But it had not been ruled out. So stock up, read natural news, whatever, learn how to naturally protect yourself and your family from viruses, bacteria, challenges to our health, and stock up on supplements and things like colloidal silver, grapefruit seed extract, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of helpful suggestions. From Electronic Frontier Foundation, dear web developers, EFF needs your help. Donate a few hours to help us create a free software backend for contacting Congress, make the world a better place for digital rights. And this is, as I mentioned, what the John Birch Society has a very wonderful system for contacting your members of Congress, and EFF is trying to get something similar in place. So if you are able to help, you have these skills, I'm sure they would be much appreciated. Glenn Beck's Psych warfare campaign against Infowars intensifies. And Glenn Beck he's really just kind of, as I wrote on a Facebook comment when I saw this link posted, Glenn Beck has kind of left the reservation. And some people have worded it more strongly that he's a Trojan horse. I don't know the man. I haven't really listened to him enough to know a whole lot about him. What he does and shares has never really appealed to me. So as I said, I don't know much about the man. But I will question from now on anything that I hear coming from him, since I'm aware of how he has treated this story about the Bundy Ranch and attacking Alex Jones and saying he's a liar and things like that. So he had this article. This article's on the Blaze. What does marijuana do to a user's brain? New study reveals potentially troubling results. Okay, if Glenn Beck has been a hook to draw liberty-minded people into deception, then, as I said, I'm going to question everything that he puts out. And I'm questioning this study. Because, I do believe that marijuana does impact, certain kinds impact memory and can weaken your ability to hold things in memory. I think that's kind of proven, and friends that I've had who have used it state that that's true. At least it was back in the day in the 70s. I don't know. The designer stuff they have now, that might not be the case. But the agricultural and industrial benefits of growing hemp and the medical benefits of marijuana just weigh too heavily on the side of the scales to tip in favor of legalization. And it's, of course, Big Pharma and others are going to be paying to oppose marijuana, just like Bloomberg is paying to oppose Second Amendment rights. So this is a time, and I've said this many times, it's necessary for us to filter all the information that comes to us. And I don't take it for granted that any source is reliable. I probably put the most weight on Infowars, but if they were to say something that didn't sound right, I would be questioning them and doing my own research. From Activist Post, Vermont Senate overwhelmingly votes for GMO labeling. So as provided that the governor signs this into law, Vermont is going to have GMO labeling. Great news. And if GMOs are labeled in one state, then those distribution lines, wherever the food comes from that is labeled, any place in that same distribution area will also be labeled, because it would cost too much for them to label just for one state. So it's likely that, again, as more states label GMOs, there will be a lot more GMO labeling, and it's a big domino to fall to have even one state require labeling. From RT, and you probably heard about this good news, Ron Paul's nonprofit refuses to disclose list of donors to the IRS. Thank you, Ron Paul, for being a man of honor and for standing for your principles. And this is just for fun, just because it's Thursday. National Journal, watch a congressional candidate shoot down a government drone. House contender Matt Rosendale of Montana wants Big Brother out of his airspace. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty, and force the Bill of Rights.